let's talk about some of the when is it appropriate to buy certain things from certain places? You know what I mean? Like the whens and where do we buy certain things? Like when do we get something from Apple or LG or Samsung versus buying it from Amazon or eBay or even Facebook Marketplace, some used gifts or offer up or eBay or something like that. Let's talk about some of those things. When and where to buy certain techs,
Yeah, because I think that wraps my two tips all into one.
right?
So for big tech purchases, here's the thing: buy what you need when you need it, and
Right,
don't keep waiting for whatever is coming next. Right. I
right.
mean, like right now, if you know that the MacBook Air, which it is for most people, is the perfect MacBook for you,
Hmm.
don't keep wondering when the M3 version is going to come out. If you need it now, if you had a kid that just got home from a mission is starting school in January and they're going to need the
Hmm.
MacBook, don't keep wondering if the M3 version is going to come out. Buy the M2 version or the M1 even. Buy it now. Call it good. So that's my number one tip with, especially with
Right.
big tech. With the smaller stuff we're going to talk about, and we're actually not going to get into the big things like computers and stuff like that. But buy it when you need it and don't worry about what's coming next and just love it. Right?
Right.
Just
Right.
absolutely love it. And that worked for me on waiting so long to buy this computer. I waited till I absolutely needed the computer. I got by as long as I could. And
Hmm.
now I couldn't be happier.
Right. Right. And I always hated that mindset. That whole, oh, you're just a beta tester, or oh, the new version is going to be out before you know it. No, if you're always waiting for tech, you'll constantly always be waiting for tech. So yeah, buy what you need when you need it. That is
Yeah.
that is a good tip.
My second one, and I'm going to tell a story here. Jason's going to laugh because me and my iPad mini sagas, but know what you want to buy from where, right? So
Right.
Best Buy, Amazon, all these places sell this stuff. You can buy used stuff. Jason last week talked about buying refurb devices and buying them straight from Apple. That is
Yep.
the way to go. Big ticket items, buy straight from the manufacturer. I mean,
Right.
I buy headphones and stuff from Best Buy, and I'll buy TVs from Best Buy because they're good at that kind of stuff. But my Apple big ticket items, my phone and my 12.9, if I get one, most likely, and definitely my
Yep.
MacBook, buy that stuff straight from Apple. But the smaller stuff is not as big of a deal. But Amazon has a lot of Apple stuff and they have a lot of Apple deals. And here's my story. So I bought an iPad mini on Amazon when the
Yep.
new
I
version
remember.
came out, and it wasn't 30 days and I had an issue. The screen just stopped working. There was no
Hmm.
water. This was not the time I dropped it in the tub. That was a different time. Again,
Right.
iPad mini sagas, but it just stopped working. And so I reached out to Amazon for support and I just got nowhere. And they basically referred me to Apple. So I ended up having to go through an Apple support technician who told me, yeah, there's a manufacturing defect. You need to get it replaced. I can't replace it here. Now you got to go back to Amazon. So then I had to get the Amazon tech on with the Apple tech for the Apple
Hmm.
tech to tell them, yes, this is a manufacturing issue, and for Amazon to be willing to issue a replacement because it was a direct buy from Amazon. It wasn't some reseller.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
And
Good.
so it was like a week long thing to get this done. And finally, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I just
Yeah.
had Amazon refund my money and turn around and bought it from Apple because
From
it just
Apple.
wasn't worth the 50 or the $100 or whatever it was that I got off on that thing to go through that. So I just want you to be careful about that. Carrier deals sometimes are really, really good. Normally when you buy Apple stuff, whoever you buy it from, Apple's going to support it. But if you run into a
Hmm.
situation like I did where you don't have Apple Care, because I didn't at the time, I bought it on the one I bought from Apple. But if you're going to have to get support on it, you're going to end up with Apple anyway. So
Yes.
I just know what you want to buy from where. And I don't buy stuff from Etsy. I don't buy stuff from the other places. I know a lot of people do, but that's
eBay
just
and
not my
stuff like
thing.
that.
Yeah, I
Right.
just don't. So there's my
Right.
story, my tip: buy it when you need it and buy it from the best source that you can.
Right. Right. So it's safe to say too that that situation worked out as good as it did because you were dealing with Apple and Amazon. So
Yep.
imagine if that was a third party. Well, Amazon is a third party, but imagine if it was a smaller, you know what I mean? A smaller private seller or something, a private dealer on Amazon, you would have never gotten a return.
No,
You
and
would have never got an exchange,
even somebody like LG, let's say I bought a
right?
TV on Amazon from LG and it had problems, and I wouldn't get the same kind of support that we get from Apple. Now, Apple support's not what it's always been, but it's still better than pretty much any other manufacturer I've known.
Right, right. So this is not one of my tips that I have on the list, but you just reminded me too. But like buying directly from LG, sometimes they have the best coupons. Sometimes they have the best deals when you sign up directly. For their newsletters and stuff. I know, don't fill your mailbox with spam, but around the shopping season, check directly with LG, check directly with Samsung, with all of these different manufacturers, and yeah, sometimes they have the best deals themselves. Versus um, buying it from a store or Amazon or something like that. So no, no, really good tips. I think you're right. Anything that you're not going to get an extended warranty from, but you want the best manufacturer's warranty, from the manufacturer, then yeah, buy it directly from them. I think that is a good way to think about things. You know, a lot of people do buy these extended warranties and things like that, which you shouldn't be anyway, because they're all just money grabs. But
The only one that
no
is
one has
not
support.
the other, I did Homer Simpson earlier. There's this episode of
Mhm.
Homer Simpson where they're putting the crayon back up his nose, and
Right.
he's getting dumber as the further it goes in, and eventually he goes, extended warranty, woohoo!
Yeah.
Right? And but the only place that I found extended warranty is good for is through Apple. And if I was close to
Yeah.
an Apple store, I might rethink it. But I just had Wyatt yesterday ask me how to ship his Beats headphones in to get them replaced. They've got issues. And I'm like, chat with Apple, tell them you want express replacement because we have Apple Care
Yeah.
Plus. So
Yeah. Yeah. Look how Brandon works. When I was thinking about extended warranties, I didn't even consider Apple Care. Apple Care is an extended warranty,
yeah.
but that's how branding and marketing works. It shifts your
Yeah.
way of thinking about it, right? I didn't even consider that. You're right. It is an extended warranty and it does work. But
Yeah.
yep, in my head.
I was joking
So,
around about trailers and how much you have to do on them. You can buy extended warranties for camp trailers like this.
mhm,
Um, but they are thousands and
right.
thousands of dollars on top of an already expensive purchase. They're not even like a car extended warranty, which is like, $2,000 or whatever. They spread it out on the
Hmm.
payment and that kind of stuff. They are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And because there's so many
Right.
components, it's tough. So
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize till we were talking before the show how much can go wrong at any time in one of these campers. So I didn't realize it was so much work.
yeah.
So, my first tip is actually something Greg mentioned a while back on one of these episodes. It was a couple of weeks ago, and when he mentioned it, I thought to myself, that's something that I use regularly on Amazon, and that's to add items to your shopping cart or create these shopping lists. You probably seen the little link on the page, like create lists or add to lists or something like that. And what it allows you to do is just monitor those price drops and increases, right? You see an item, you say, hey, I'm going to buy that item later. So you put it on the list or you add it to your cart. And you can, in your cart too, you can move it from the cart to save for later and it still stays in your cart. And you can monitor the prices there. So let's say you saw, I don't know, a stylist that you wanted. You add it to your watch list or add it to the cart and save for later. And before you purchase it, the price jumps up $5. Well, it'll send you an alert. It'll put an alert on the top of the page that says, "Hey, this went up $5," um, and you can make the decision on whether or not you want to purchase it. Or on the flip side of that, if it's 50% off now, you'll see in red letters that this price has increased, or I'm sorry, this price has decreased by 50% since you added it to the cart. Then you can go ahead and check it out there. And maybe it's me, I think Amazon monitors that, which they would be smart to, right? If you
Yeah.
add it to your cart, all of a sudden I start getting deal of the day, different emails and stuff about items similar to the one that I added to the cart or added to my watch list, including that specific product that I added to the cart or watch list. So I think Amazon monitors that. If you have something on your watch list for several weeks, it'll automatically adjust that price for you to make it more attractive so you can get it out of your cart and actually get it, get it purchased and paid for.
Yeah, I was hoping a bunch of the stuff that I want for the kids and stuff would go down in price, but everything's been creeping up slowly so
Right.
far. But remember that one anchor thing you and I were looking at that we thought was cool and
Yep.
you were considering? It's $59 right now.
Really.
Yeah.
And remember, that's what I said. That was my sweet spot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so and
want
it's saying Black Friday deal, so there and but yeah, like I said, I've got everything. Um I've got all that stuff in here and I just went in and looked and I think every single thing I've had on here for my kids has gone up by, a few cents or a couple of bucks since I
right.
put it in here a week ago. But that's the game you play, right? As you wait and see. So I probably won't
Yeah.
hit buy on any of this stuff until Friday and then, have a giant set of Amazon stuff showing up next week.
Right, right. And yeah, that's another bonus tip too. That Black Friday is not the end all be all with deals, right? Deals are gonna
Yeah.
come and go between now and that last week before you miss the shipping window, right? If you can get 3 days shipping, if you're 3 days before Christmas, then that's the cutoff date. So deals are gonna be up and down um, between now and the end of the shopping season. So
Well, and I like your
um,
tip number 2 here if you're going to go through that one because
yeah, yeah, this one is a good
sometimes
one.
sometimes you get what you pay for. So,
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's just it. These Black Friday deals, first off, they're not ideal for future proofing, right? It's no secret that these are not the best deals. They're always going to be the older model, right? They're going to be a few generations before, and even though you're saving a lot on that initial purchase, you buy it. It's really cheap. You may be forced to upgrade like the next year or something like that, right? The manufacturer is going to end support for it pretty soon or something like that. So just be just be conscious of that, right? There's a reason why it's $18, right? You're buying it because it's already two generations back from the current version, and in a way, this is a good thing, right? The companies, the manufacturers, they get their cost out of it, right? So they're not losing money. They get these products out there. They get people to fall in love with these products, and then they say, okay, I like this one. Let me go ahead and update to the latest version because it has all of these new bells and whistles that I want. And that's especially true for smart home tech, right? Cameras, security cameras. You're going to see on Black Friday a lot of these security cameras and these switches and things like that are really good, but they're seriously like a few generations old,
yeah.
right? None of them are going to be 23 models or 2022 models. They're going to be some of the oldest ones. So just be conscious of that when you're buying new tech. Note it, it's deeply discounted, but it is very old.